You ever scroll through your feed and just get this feeling that there's something else going on? Behind the screen, beyond all the posts and the videos, there's this hidden architecture that's shaping what you see, what you believe, and honestly, even how you feel. So today, we're going to decode the invisible forces that are literally building your online world. So let's just ask it outright. Who is really in control here? Is it you? Is it the platforms? Or is it something else entirely? That's the big question we're going to unravel. And the answer? Well, it starts in a place that's very, very familiar, your own feed. Okay, let's start in the most personal space there is online, your feed. It feels like this open window to the whole world, right? But as we're about to see, it's often more like a mirror, just reflecting a very, very specific version of reality right back at us. Now, you've probably heard these two terms thrown around a lot, but they're not exactly the same thing. There's a really important difference. An echo chamber, that's social. It's about who you choose to follow, who you interact with. It's you and your community of like-minded people. A filter bubble, on the other hand, that's technological. That's an algorithm guessing what you want to see based on your past clicks, and it builds this little universe of information just for you. So one is built by community, the other is built by code. So what makes these bubbles so dang powerful? Well, the answer is actually wired right into our brains. It's this thing called confirmation bias. It's our brain's natural habit of looking for info that basically says, yep, you're right. I mean, it feels good to be validated, right? And this little mental shortcut makes us super susceptible to getting trapped inside these digital bubbles. It doesn't matter if we built them ourselves or if an algorithm built them for us. All right, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about our own psychology. Now let's look at the massive technological systems that are designed to feed it. We're talking about the engagement engine. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. The main goal of these systems isn't to tell you the truth or to give you a nice balanced view of the world. Nope. The goal is to keep your eyes glued to the screen for as long as humanly possible. The currency of the modern internet is your attention. And the entire system, it's all designed to get as much of it as it can. Just let that number sink in for a second. 70%. On a massive platform like YouTube, that means for every 10 videos you watch, a machine chose 7 of them for you. And that machine, it has one main job: predict what's going to keep you watching. This isn't just a gentle little nudge. It is a powerful current that's pulling you through the platform. So here's the kicker. What kind of content is best at grabbing our attention? Well, according to Facebook's own internal research from a leaked memo, it's often the most divisive, emotional, and incendiary stuff. This isn't some accident or a bug in the system, it's a feature. Outrage, hate, and misinformation, they generate clicks and shares, so the algorithm learns to serve up more of it. And the consequences of this are just staggering. A huge MIT study found that on Twitter, falsehoods are 70% more likely to be retweeted than the truth. They spread faster, they go wider, and they dig deeper into the network. And you know why? It's simple, really. Fake news is often more surprising, more shocking, and more emotional. It's the exact kind of fuel that the engagement engine is designed to burn. Look, this isn't just some theoretical problem about what's true or false on the internet. This engine of engagement has real, tangible, and often incredibly dangerous consequences in the physical world. This is what people call the rabbit hole. And it starts pretty innocently, right? A personalized feed. But as the algorithm tries to keep you watching, it can start to lead you down a very specific path. An echo chamber forms with other people who think the same way. And then, to keep that engagement level high, the system might start recommending more and more extreme content, because that stuff is highly engaging. And over time, this can actually shift a person's entire worldview, leading to real radicalization. And in the most tragic cases, this is a potential outcome. The whole phenomenon of lone wolf terrorism is deeply tied to online self-radicalization. For instance, authorities have stopped plots where teenagers were allegedly being radicalized by extremist content that was being served up to them by algorithms on platforms like TikTok. The path from a seemingly innocent For You page to real-world violence, it's a terrifying possibility in the system we've all built. Okay, so the problem of algorithmic bias seems pretty clear, and the consequences can be really severe. But what if that's not the whole story? Some new research is suggesting a really provocative, kind of counterintuitive idea. And this is such a fascinating twist, right? We spend all this time and energy trying to get bias out of AI, treating it like this flaw that has to be fixed. But what if we could actually harness it? What if we could use the biases that are already in these systems for a constructive purpose? First, we just have to accept one fundamental truth. AI is not objective. I mean, just look at this chart. Different large language models, they all have different political leanings. And that's because of the oceans of internet data they were trained on. Some lean left, some lean right, some are more libertarian. Not a single one of them is a perfectly neutral observer. Now, remember confirmation bias? That nice, comfy feeling of being told you're right? Well, the opposite of that is cognitive dissonance. It's that uncomfortable, kind of jarring feeling you get when you see something that directly contradicts what you believe. It's stressful, for sure, but it's also the essential ingredient for critical thinking. It's that moment where you're forced to stop and ask, wait a minute, could I be wrong? And this is where that whole idea becomes practical. Researchers are actually building tools, like this browser extension Apollolytics you see here, that use AI to flag propaganda techniques in real time. But imagine taking it a step further. What if a tool like this could be intentionally tuned to analyze an article from a perspective that challenges your own? It could be designed to create that exact moment of cognitive dissonance, forcing you to think more critically about what you're reading. So, how do we move forward? How do we break this cycle of automated division and actually get back in the driver's seat? Well, it looks like there are two main paths we can take. The first approach is what you'd call top-down, government regulation. This usually involves changing laws like Section 230 in the US, which protects platforms from being liable for what users post. The idea is to make these companies legally responsible for the harm their algorithms might be causing. The second approach is bottom-up, better design. So instead of changing the laws, we change the tools themselves to give us, the users, more awareness, more control, and more choice. In this slide gives us a really cool glimpse of what that bottom-up approach could actually look like. It starts with just being transparent, telling the user up front that the AI has a bias. Then it gives them control, letting them pick a perspective or just stick with a neutral default. And crucially, it's designed to build trust. So instead of just bombarding you with opposing views, it might gradually introduce different perspectives so you don't just reject them instantly. The goal totally shifts from designing for engagement to designing for, well, enlightenment. So we end right back where we started, with you. If the controls were really in your hands, what would you choose? A feed that feels comfortable, that confirms everything you already think? Or a feed that challenges you, that pushes you, that really makes you think? The answer to that question might just decide the future of our shared online world.